shall lengthen.
Yeah, it's quite
Dr. Martin Luther King.
Quite a voice, isn't it?
Incredible voice.
Yeah,
He was shot dead, of course, in Memphis in Tennessee less than 5 months later, in fact. Well, Paul Barry was in the audience that day. In fact, he was in his first year at Newcastle University in 1967. Paul, good evening to you.
Good evening.
We should point out that Martin Luther King was incredibly jet-lagged, and he does sound actually totally exhausted. He was also living, of course, through an incredibly tumultuous time in his life. What did you make of it at the time?
I was incredibly impressed because I did know that the trip to Newcastle was combined with the trip to receive his Nobel Prize. So he was doing quite a lot during that trip. And basically, the way he spoke and addressed an audience, if you like, of a country that he really had little connection with, and actually managed to encourage us to think positively about race relations was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yes, I watched some of it this morning, and there's a bit where, well, to be honest, it's rather difficult to watch just because it's very much of its time, the whole thing. He does say the law can't change to make white people like me, but it could mean that I won't get lynched. He put it as bluntly as that. I found it really pretty disturbing.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think about the past that he went through in Selma and so on, but what he did say, which really followed me for the rest of my life, was you can't, or you may not be able to change people's hearts, but you can change the law. And his concept was to make everybody, regardless of race, have equal places under the law. And I think that's brilliant.
Paul, Peter here, do you ever feel, looking back, well, all those years, that really we haven't come very far in some ways?
Well, if you look at what happened in Charlottesville...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Recently.
I mean, he would be so depressed to look around and think all the problems still there.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, even in this country, I think, you know, the racism being shown by the far-right parties, the things that have been said by some of the